The night the town of Shapltjlnn appeared on Daniel Carter's GPS, it wasn't supposed to exist. Daniel was a hospice nurse, the kind of man who believed kindness was practical, not poetic. He had spent 12 years driving lonely highways at odd hours, holding the hands of strangers while their families slept or stayed away. That night, a winter storm rolled in fast over the Appalachian stretch between West Virginia and Pennsylvania, turning the road into a ribbon of black ice. His phone lost signal. The GPS flickered, recalculated, and calmly announced, "In 2 miles, arrive at Shapltjlnn." Daniel frowned. He knew this route. There was no town for at least another 40 miles. The car heater coughed, then died. Snow thickened, swallowing the headlights. When Daniel finally saw lights ahead, they were warm and yellow, glowing through the storm like a promise. Wooden signboards emerged from the darkness, their paint chipped and letters uneven, as if carved by an unsteady hand. "Welcome to Shapltjlnn. Population. Still here." A strange chill ran through him, and not from the cold. The town looked frozen in time. Brick storefronts, a diner with a flickering neon sign, street lamps humming softly. Not abandoned. Just quiet. Too quiet. Daniel parked near the diner, his breath fogging the windshield. As he stepped out, the snow stopped abruptly, like it had hit an invisible wall. Inside the diner, warmth wrapped around him. The smell of coffee and old wood filled the air. A handful of people sat in booths, their faces pale, their eyes heavy. The radio played a crackling old blues song from the 1940s. A waitress approached, her smile gentle but tired. "You look cold," she said. "Sit, you'll catch your breath here." "Thanks," Daniel replied, surprised at how relieved he felt. "My car broke down. Is there a mechanic nearby?" Her smile faltered, just slightly. "Not anymore." She poured him coffee without asking. It tasted real, strong, bitter, comforting. He noticed something odd then. No one else was drinking or eating. They just sat, staring into cups that looked untouched. An elderly man in the corner spoke. "What do you do, son?" "I'm a nurse," Daniel said. "Hospice care." At that word, several heads lifted. A woman pressed a hand to her mouth. Another man looked down, ashamed. The waitress whispered, "Figures." Daniel felt the air thicken. "What does that mean?" Before anyone could answer, a child's cry echoed from somewhere deep in the diner, thin, desperate, and wrong. It sounded like it came from under the floor. Daniel stood immediately. "Is there a kid hurt?" "No," the elderly man said quickly. Too quickly. "Sit down." Daniel didn't. He followed the sound through a back door, down a narrow staircase that shouldn't have fit inside the building. The walls were lined with photographs, families smiling stiffly, eyes hollow. Dates beneath them all ended the same year, 1986. At the bottom was a single room. A hospital bed sat in the center. On it lay a little girl, maybe 8 years old, her skin gray, eyes sunken, breathing shallow. Machines surrounded her, old and rusted, wires snaking like veins into the walls. Daniel rushed to her side, instinct overriding fear. "Hey there," he whispered. "I'm Daniel. I'm here." Her eyes fluttered open. "You came back," she said. "I've never been here before," he replied gently, checking her pulse. It was faint, too faint. Footsteps echoed behind him. The townspeople filled the doorway, faces drawn with something between hope and dread. The waitress spoke. Her name was Lily. She died in the winter storm of '86. The hospital was too far. The roads closed. We prayed. We begged. The elderly man continued, voice breaking. Someone said if we refused to let her go, if we held on hard enough, the town could stay. So she wouldn't be alone. Daniel slowly turned. "You trapped her." "No," the woman sobbed. "We stayed with her." Lily whimpered. Her hand found Daniel's sleeve, clutching weakly. "It hurts," she whispered. "It always hurts." Daniel's chest tightened. He understood then. Shapltjlnn wasn't a place. It was a pause. A wound that never healed. "She needs comfort," Daniel said softly. "Not fear. Not silence." The waitress shook her head. "If she goes, we all go." Daniel looked at their faces, people who had lived decades in a single night, sustaining themselves on denial. He had seen this before, in families who refused to say goodbye, stretching suffering in the name of love. He sat beside Lily, ignoring the murmurs. "I'm not here to take you anywhere you don't want to go," he said. "I just don't want you to be scared." He unplugged one of the machines. The town groaned, walls creaking, lights flickering. The people cried out, "Stop!" Someone yelled. Lily's breathing eased slightly, her eyes focused on Daniel. "Will you stay?" she asked. "Yes," he said without hesitation. Time stretched. Daniel told her stories, about sunsets over the ocean, about his first patient, about kindness he'd seen in strangers. The town shook, buildings cracking like old bones. One by one, the people faded, their faces peaceful, grateful. The waitress knelt beside him, tears streaming. "Thank you," she whispered, before dissolving into light. Finally, it was just Daniel and Lily. "It's warm now," she said, smiling faintly. Daniel held her hand as her breathing slowed, then stilled. The room dissolved around him. Daniel woke in his car, snow melting on the windshield. Dawn broke over an empty stretch of highway. No sign, no town. His heater hummed back to life. On the passenger seat lay a small photograph, a girl with a shy smile, dated 1986.